I've just been talking to Kirstie Clements about style versus fashion, and her philosophy is basically if you have the confidence, you can carry any style. But the question is, does style give you confidence? And I think after this, you should make up your own mind. Now, you've been an observer of sort of fashion and style for 25 years. What actually defines personal style, do you think, for someone? Or how do you define style?
To me, somebody appears very stylish. It's almost innate that they seem very comfortable in their own skin. They seem very easy. Their movements are easy. They don't look like they're stitched up or can't walk in the shoe, or there's a glow and a sort of acceptance and a confidence about them that you see, and then you see second what they have on. So the first thing you actually see is them, then you see their clothes. I think if you see their clothes first, there might be a problem. Right, that's good. That's when I think it's a bit kind of, you can't get past the,
Yeah. So is that kind of then an acceptance of themselves? I mean, because some people really struggle trying to find their sense of style.
Yeah, and I know, and it's not easy. It's easy to sit there and say you're a style arbiter and tell people it's easy, but it's not. And women go through different life stages, and they're comfortable sometimes in a particular look in a decade, and that's probably when they look really brilliant. And then they don't change. They don't change and adapt. Not that you need to regularly throw it all out and grab a new fashion style, but just things have to be tweaked a little bit, I think. But it does come down to confidence, and that's something that thankfully you get as you mature. I have to say, that's one of the only good things. And a way to dress the way your body is, feeling, not bashing yourself up if you haven't got the skinniest upper arms in the world. Just kind of working to that sense of knowing what colours suit you, knowing how you feel comfortable, and dressing around that.
Do you think do you think we need someone to tap us on our shoulder sometimes and say, I hate to break it to you, but you really shouldn't be wearing the dress that short, or those pants are just not doing you any favours?
Yeah, I know. I mean, who's going to really do that for you?
But don't you want to do it to your best mate sometimes? You just want to go, look, sweetie, I love you, but...
Yeah. I mean, there is probably a way to do it. What
you ever come across
what
a
I
polite way
see
to do
now?
it?
No. But what I see now that I think is worse is, and that short dress thing, I know, look, if they've got good legs, then whatever. I mean, people should be able to do what they want. But what I think now is I see these young girls who are not dressing for their body shapes, and they're wearing those really stupid shoes, and they can't walk. And when I look at them, they're really staggering. God knows how they're going to be after a couple of drinks. I just think I don't see any sort of sensuality or sexiness or grace or anything about that, more than, okay, if you get the pant shape wrong or something. But that kind of being uncomfortable shows in a person's appearance, I think.
Because that's what you're saying, is that the thing that attracts you is their body language, as opposed to going and sort of checking what they're wearing. It's like, first of all, they just look ridiculous, but it's actually what you're looking at is the way they're holding themselves.
They're holding themselves. But I mean, there are people who look at a fashion editor who had pink hair and blue nails and bright blue eyes and would wear green shoes and Now, on anybody else, that would have been a mess. But that's exactly how I just used to stare at her. She was a joy to look at in the morning, because she hated black, it depressed her, and she only wore colour, but you could see this sort of joyous putting together. But she never looked uncomfortable or forced,
because she was confident.
She was confident because that's how she wanted to look. So, but I do believe that there is probably a style that suits someone the most.
Do you think they innately know, though? Because I question whether some people actually...
Do you?
Yeah.
But do you know what your style is?
Well, I know that I've got a bigger ass, so I always wear things that are A-line, or wear a jacket that's longer. I know that I've got a good waist, so I try to accentuate that. But that's only sort of being in the business that we're in, and you get an understanding and you're working with professionals. But a lot of women don't have that privilege.
No, they don't. Or I think being influenced by trend, like what's in. Well, nothing's in. Or out. It's whether it suits you or not, and whether you can adapt that trend to you. Like, I will ignore complete trends. I would ignore the 70s, say, for example, because it's not my thing. But 40s, you know, let me at it. And I love 40s and 50s, really.
Yeah.
The rest of them I couldn't care less about.
Because you know that kind of suits your body and your style.
But having said that, now I'm getting older, I wouldn't do total 40s, 50s, because vintage makes you look vintage.
Right.
But vintage makes you look really old.
If you are vintage.
If you are vintage.
And you do vintage.
Yeah. But if you do 50s or 40s or 50s on a 21-year-old girl, divine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there are some little pitfalls that you could go into. But I just think simplicity as you get older, not to be boring, I don't want to be boring, but to just sort of, you know, great well-cut pants and, you know, a beautiful men's V-neck cashmere sweater, a great cardigan, long cardigan, you know, the best handbag you can afford, hoop earrings, a great sandal, you know, grooming, things to make you look expensive rather than, you only have to have a few, rather than just following every trend that whips in and whips out, because, quite frankly, a lot of the trends are dead ugly.